When you have a polygon, whether it's regular or not, a regular polygon has all equal angles inside. In this case, this one's not a regular polygon because you see that the angles here are not the same. But this formula that you're going to get on how to find the sum of all the angles inside the polygon is it's kind of simple in concept. Basically, we break the polygon into a series of triangles, and we know what the sum of the interior angles of triangles are. So if I was to connect any 2 points, and they can't be consecutive to each other, like I can't connect this point to this point, because that wouldn't give me a triangle. I want to form triangles, so I have to be at least 1 point away. So I formed a triangle here, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here to here, and that forms another, and then I'm going to go from here to here. And when we count the number of triangles, we see that we have 4 of them. Since each triangle has 180 degrees inside, and there are 4 triangles total, then the total number of degrees inside this polygon, which has 6 sides, should be 4 times 180, or 720. Let's try it with a few other polygons to see if this shows a pattern. So if I cut this polygon into 2 triangles, what I have, each triangle is 180 degrees, so 2 triangles would be 360 degrees. And again, I notice that the number of sides is 4, but the number of triangles I got was 2, or let's say 4 minus 2. On the prior problem, we had 6 sides and it was able to form 4 triangles inside. So we're seeing a pattern here. Let's see if it holds. Let's try a 5-sided polygon. So here we have a 5-sided polygon, and what we want to do is, again, we're going to break the polygon into a number of triangles, and what we have is 3. So we had 5 sides to the polygon. So we're starting to see a pattern here. Let's take a look at a 10-sided polygon, and we'll look at a formula for it. Here we have a 10-sided polygon. It's a regular polygon. It doesn't matter if it's regular or not. And I'm going to break this one into as many triangles as I can form. So in this case, I was able to break it into 8 triangles. We started with 10 sides, and we were able to form 8 triangles. And now we're ready for a formula that will work for a polygon of any number of sides. So the formula is that the sum of the angles is equal to n minus 2 times 180. So the n is the number of the polygon, so what we're going to do is we'll substitute, in this case, 10 for the number of sides. Then we'll simplify inside the parentheses, and finally multiply 8 times 180. And we find that the sum of the angles is 1,440 degrees. So this time our irregular polygon is 5 sides if we count. So using our formula, we have the sum equals the quantity of n minus 2 times 180. We replace n with a 5 because it's a 5-sided polygon. Then we simplify for the next line, which is 3 times 180, which gives us 540. And finding the 540 degrees doesn't give us the answer to this one. We needed to find the missing value x, and since it's not a regular polygon, the angles are not all the same. So what we do is we want to set 540 degrees equal to the sum of the 4 internal angles, which is 470 degrees plus our missing angle x. And if we subtract 470 from both sides, we get that our missing angle x is equal to 70 degrees. For this example, a swimming pool is constructed that is somewhat octagonal. The sides aren't equal, but inside the angles are measured and given as 120, and it says these four angles are the same and the four green angles are the same. So since these angles are the same, these four, we can label these 120 degrees for each one. And try to, let's pause the video and try to find out what the measure of the four green angles are. So we start off with the formula for the sum of the angles inside the polygon. And then instead of n, we substitute an 8 because it's an 8-sided figure. Then we simplify inside the parentheses. Then we find that the sum of the angles inside is 1080 degrees. Modeling an algebraic equation that'll give us the measure of the four angles inside, we come up with 1080 equals 480 plus 4x, the x representing the angle that we don't have inside here. These four angles are the 480, and now we solve the two-step equation. So first we subtract 480 from both sides, which gives us 600 degrees equals 4 times the angle. Then we divide both sides by 4. And finally, we get that the measure of angle x is 150 degrees. Here we have a 6-sided polygon. Try to do this one on your own. I encourage you to pause the video and see if you can find the measure of angle x. So we'll start off with the formula for the sum of the angles inside the polygon. So the sum is equal to the quantity n minus 2 times 180 degrees. We replace the n with the number of sides of the polygon, which is 6. Then we simplify inside the parentheses. 6 minus 2 gives us 4. And finally, we multiply 180 times 4, which gives us 720 degrees. Now, we're given two of the angles, and if we look inside here, we see that the corners over here are square, so those are both 90 degrees. So we then set up an algebraic equation that will produce the two 90-degree angles and the four x's. And once we have this, it's a two-step equation, and in order to solve for x, we first subtract 180 from both sides. And that gives us 540 equals 4x, and then we simply divide both sides by 4. And that results in x being 135 degrees. So each of these interior angles is equal to 135 degrees.